what happens when the DM threatens the players? Let me describe the situation. So I'd like to say that at first, when we joined this game, it seemed pretty cool. It had some extensive but interesting lore, as well as a full-on map, so overall the campaign was mostly enjoyable. However, it started to turn bad after our characters went down into a quarry, as apparently in one of those mine shafts there had been an incident with psychic creatures pouring out. We found the creatures, dealt with them, and saved a captured NPC. No big deal, right? Well, the problem arose later when we were casually hanging out with the DM in a voice chat, and he made the remark that there were actually several slave races that we saw as we descended into the quarry. I was a bit taken aback by this, as my character was a paladin, and I felt like he'd not find that to be okay as a rule. Now here is where he casually made this remark that made me get really worried really fast. You see, my girlfriend was playing an adorable goblin rogue named Egorot. She was an amazing character who she still loves and hopes to play in the future, but since the campaign looked good, she had tried using her for this one. The DM had previously been suddenly interested in the fact that my GF had drawn not safe for work art of this character, and even suddenly created a not safe for work art channel and play by post channel without us even asking. That's a red flag we should have noticed sooner. Now on to the actual remark. Oh yeah, there are a bunch of slave races, especially ones like Egorot's race. They're almost all love slaves. She's probably one of the lucky ones. Now I'm going to be very clear here. The term love slave basically tells me that this person is being inappropriately abused, assaulted, and has no rights. So in the moment, we laugh it off as we were both in a little bit of a shock at how casually that was thrown out. Later on, however, my girlfriend and I talked on Discord and we were both like, bro, seriously? That's not okay. So we decided to ask a friend of his about what we should do and told him how uncomfortable it made us when he made that comment. We mainly just wanted to see if there was just a misunderstanding and hoped that the DM understood exactly what he was telling us, as we had never said we were okay with those themes and had never been told they'd appear. Moments after we asked this dude this, we get a threatening message from the DM telling us that he's considering booting us because we're going behind his back and bothering other players, and how my girlfriend and I had initially hidden our relationship from them. That last part was really weird, and we never brought it up because we thought it didn't matter. But apparently, this creepy dude cited it as a reason for wanting to boot us. Now I understand that it is generally a good idea to be upfront and ask the DM, but I barely knew this person, and they were fairly antagonistic as well, going through a rough time in their life, so I didn't want to escalate. So the sensible thing I thought was to try to avoid a miscommunication since it's a sensitive subject, and just ask his friend for advice, as he seemed like a cool dude so far and was pretty okay. Apparently, that was a bad idea, since my girlfriend and I didn't want to be threatened into not bringing up problems we had. We just decided to leave since we were apparently an issue and not welcomed. A day after, another player from the server asked what happened, and after I told them, they said they were going to leave as well. I believe shortly after, the game fell apart, and we never saw that dude or his friend again. Good call, OP. That sounded like it could have gotten a lot worse. If the DM is making things feel like a hostile environment, then you aren't going to enjoy the game, and things are going to always be off. Hopefully the backlash from the situation might have taught the DM something, but I'm probably being a bit too optimistic. What do you all think about this situation?